This is Tainted Grail. It's an early access game, and it's a roguelike, which, that's the kind of early access game I like to play. It's pretty different from a lot of the other ones I've played, though. It's got some Slay the Spire in it, but you actually run around almost like it's a Diablo game. It's got a kind of a surprising combination of mechanics, and while it is similar to Slay the Spire in the way the combat works, it's got some pretty key differences that are pretty interesting, and it's got some really fascinating visuals. I mean, it's dark and gothy, and so there's a lot of familiarity to that because there's a lot of dark and gothy games out there. But I don't know. You'll see when we look at it. I do have to avoid the temptation to call this game, instead of Tainted Grail, to call it Grilled Taint, because for some reason that's how it sticks together in my head. To give you a primer on the story, this takes place in sort of a weird alternate dark fantasy version of the Arthurian legends. So it takes place in, Arthurian England, but it's a version of it where horrific pseudo-natural monstrosities have taken over the world. And it's hilariously, they call it weirdness. You got it whenever you've got like really strange fantasy stuff going on in your world, you got to come up with names for things, right? And for some reason, they chose the word weird, but it's weird with a Y. It's WYRD, and you know what? I'm on board. So yeah, so it's like it's got all these Arthurian references. Like it talks about King Arthur and Merlin and Avalon and all of these things that are familiar, except you expect to see those in sort of like grand, sort of high semi-historical feeling fantasy. That's sort of what you expect from that, and instead you've got horrible monsters from hell evoking Cthulhu abominations, that kind of thing. Yeah, let's see here. So anyway, so Josh Foreman says that's an historical word. It's actually Old English or something. The word weird with a Y. I hadn't realized that. I assumed that they had just taken the word weird, which is, a good description for horrific abominations, and just stuck a Y in it because that's what you do to make a word fantastical. But if Josh recognizes it as an actual real word, that kind of lends it. I liked it already. That kind of lends it some legitimacy that makes it even cooler. Okay, so anyway, I'm in the middle of a run right now, and actually I just realized I should probably move myself to the lower right corner. I think this is where I'll block the least HUD. We'll find out where I really need to have my head. But you can see I've got a mini map up here in the upper right, and it's directing me towards my next goal. So this is my first real run through the game. I managed not to die yet, but my death could be coming very soon because I'm halfway through the run. I feel like that's about when it should be getting too hard for me. And so I've defeated 2 of these 4 bosses that you have to defeat. And so each time you're defeating a boss, what you're doing is you're exploring the land that the boss lives in, and there's lots of enemies and things you can encounter on the way. You can see that the ground around my feet is very clear. It's clearly rendered. You can see, sort of got like lovely little normal maps on it and stuff, lots of detail. But beyond a certain range, it starts to get kind of impressionistic. It's got sort of a Van Gogh sort of look to it. It's this weird post-process that's gone over it. I don't know if you can see it clearly enough in the compressed video to tell what I'm talking about, but it looks really crazy. And it means that I can't really see very distinctly. So if I step out into that area without using sort of like a special magical torch, then I can be surprised by things, and things sort of jump out at me, and I don't see them coming. It's like this character right here. I don't even know what to expect from them. They are a fight. That's what they are. Okay, so let's see if during a fight, if I actually want to have my head here. So, okay, yeah, so you can't actually see some important HUD here, so I'm going to move myself back to the upper right. Okay, so as you can see, when you get into combat in this game, it's card-based combat. So this is me right here with my health and everything. My health, I've got to try to preserve my health long term. This health is not just for this fight, it's for the entire run. I can heal between combats, but yeah, so I want to take no damage if I can help it. Unfortunately, these characters, she's going to hit me 5 times for 1 hit each, and she's going to go first. that's a problem because, okay, so in Slay the Spire and a lot of other games like Slay the Spire, when you defend yourself, what you're defending against is a certain amount of damage. And in a game like that, someone like this who's going to hit me 5 times for 1 point of damage each, they're really easy to defend from because like they're not doing very much damage. It won't eat up very many of my defenses. In this game, though, you gain block. You block individual attacks, not amounts of damage. So actually, this 5 times 1 with a character who is first in the initiative order, and you can see she's. You can see that when I highlight her, the initiative in the upper left-hand corner over there, it lights up. So she's going to go first. She's going to hit me 5 separate times, and that's going to completely destroy my ability to defend against the other attackers, who individually do much more damage. So this is bad for me, unless I can take this character out. If I can take this character out in 2 attacks, then I can block this attack and at least save myself some damage. So I've got a few options here on my cards. I can do an advanced attack, which I can do twice, which will not... if I do it 3 times... I can do it multiple times. Each time I use this thing, it comes back. And so I can use it 3 times, which will kill this character, which is great, but then it won't leave me any moves left to attack with. Sorry, any moves left to defend with, which means these guys are still going to hit me. If I use this, it'll do 3 hits of 15 to 18, which is like nearly 60 damage. So yeah, I would need to use this one 3 times too. So okay, so I can't get out of this. These 2 characters are going to hit me no matter what I do. So since that's the case, I guess I'm just going to try to take out this... Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't need to take out this character. If I can take out one of these... Like, this is the character I need to be trying to take out. So let's do that. So I'm going to use advanced attack on this character. Takes him down to almost nothing. And then I got my card back, so I could hit them again with this same card if I want to. I could use this one. This one has random targets. So what that means is, if I'm lucky, it'll hit this person at least once and kill them, and then also do damage to the other characters, which is good long term. But if it doesn't hit this character at all, then I'm going to have to use another attack to hit them, and then I won't be able to defend myself. Defending is kind of... Oh crap, I forgot about this card. I should have used this. I would have taken them out in 1 hit. Dang it. Oh, that would have been so much better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do small strikes. It did take them out and damage this guy. That's nice. I've got 1 more move. I had 3 energy, so I've done 2 things. I need to do another. I guess I'll use it on this character. I always use it on the character with the lowest health. Why did I attack them twice? That was weird. Okay, so I'm out of energy, which means all my cards are ghosted, but I've got 1 more move, which is my ultimate. My ultimate will do 28 to 33 damage. There's a slight chance I could eliminate this character with the ultimate right now. It's a very small chance, though, and they're only going to do that much damage. If I could eliminate this character with the ultimate, that'd be great, but that was never in the cards. So I think I'm not going to try to do that. I'm going to save it up because it'll be more powerful. Basically, the more I attack, the more it fills up this little bar, and the more powerful the ultimate is. And the ultimate doesn't cost any energy, so I want to save it for the right time to use it. So I'm going to end my turn. She hits me 5... Wait a minute, she didn't hit me 5 times. Is this not an attack? Weird. Okay, I don't quite know what happened there. I feel like that didn't play out the way I expected it to. Okay, so another thing my character does is every time she attacks someone, this is a class ability. Every time she attacks someone, she gives them these marks. When she gets 6 marks, she starts doing like double damage against that character. So that's one of the reasons why small strikes is valuable, because it accumulates those hits really, really fast. So again... Okay, so this character is going to attack me for more damage than this character. So if I take this character out, that'll be great. What's the best way to do a bunch of damage to that character? Ooh, Stunning Shout. Stun all enemies with no or negative armor. So this character's got armor, so they've got incoming damage reduction. This one doesn't, so I can stun that character. Okay, so they're stunned now, right? Yes, so that means they're not going to hit me with this attack this next turn. So only this attack is going to hit me. That's good. I'll do small strikes again, accumulating those marks, and then... Oh, dang it, I forgot. Chain attack costs 2. But I could do my ultimate to just clear this character off the board. Maybe that's what I'll do. My ultimate is pretty monstrous looking. Okay, and I guess I'll stand my ground even though... Oh, I think I've got an ability that makes this carry over to the next turn, so that's actually good. That's not wasted. So this character was stunned, they didn't attack me, which means because I've got that special ability, normally block clears at the end of a turn, but because I have the special ability, my block carried over, that's good. Retaliate if they hit me. Well, is this person going to hit me at all? Oh, I've only got 1 attack, so... And yeah, I'm not going to do enough damage to take them out, so they're going to hit me twice. So I can stand my ground. I can also breathe. So right now I've got 2 block, which means I'm going to block both of this guy's attacks. I can get +1 energy next turn if I use this though, and also I'll have another block that carries over. And might as well retaliate too. Alright, here we go. So he hits me. It hits my block twice, so now I'm down to 1 block. And I'm retaining these defensive things, which is great. So now... Oh, I can hit him for a completely obscene amount of damage. So, sure, let's do it. And he's dead. Alright, so I picked up some WYRD stone, which it's like a crafting resource, I think, plus some experience. That's good. And I got warding lore. Create 30 barrier. I don't know what that is, but let's collect it. It's an item. I've got these combat items. I really should be using them, so I'll try to keep that in mind next turn, next combat. And then I've got some upgrades. Okay, I can look at those in a little bit. Huh. So Josh Foreman says WYRD is a... Or maybe it's just weird? I don't know. Anyway, it's a concept in Anglo-Saxon culture roughly corresponding to fate or personal destiny. The word is ancestral to modern English, is weird, which retains its original meaning only dialectically. Interesting. So, okay, so they grabbed the word weird as an actual Anglo-Saxon word, which is, era appropriate for the Arthurian legend, and it has to do with destiny, which, again, also feels appropriate for this fantastical setting. Okay, so I'm walking into this sort of, like, mysterious area that it's full of weirdness, and everything's looking weird and impressionistic. But if I hit the 1 key, I can get out this weird candle that sort of pushes this stuff back and lets me see what's out there. So, for instance, I've got... Oh, look at this. I've got some items. Scavenging the items. Well, there's tons of them over here. Oh, and a big monster. Notice, look at this bar down below me. It's as I move that the candle starts wearing out. So it's not time, it's movement, which makes a lot of sense actually. So I can stand here for as long as I want to, and I'm not wasting time, I'm not wasting candle, but as I move, the candle starts wearing out. Before I go to this fight, let's look at my upgrades. So these are the runes that I've slotted in my sword and in my armor. Each of them's got a different effect, and they sort of list the effects here. So I've got extra damage. So even my small rapid fire attacks get this plus 12 damage, and they become much more powerful as I upgrade them. All the enemies start with lowered armor, and I've got 2 stacking damage bonuses, and then I reflect 10% of the damage that I receive. So this is kind of like a heraldic cube. So these are the runestones that I've got. And not only can I grab these and slot them into my sword and my armor, but I can also combine them when I get duplicates. So I've got these guys, which increase my armor by 5 if I slot them in an armor slot, or they increase my damage by 5% if I slot them in a weapon slot. But I can combine them, and now they're a fancier version of the same thing that does 10 armor and 10%. So right now, I've got reflect damage, and I've got, see here, so reducing the armor of all enemies by 5 doesn't actually seem like it's that powerful. So I'm going to pull that one out and instead do my damage increase of 10%. So So I'm increasing damage by flat amounts and increasing it by 10%. I don't know what order in which they apply these. Like, do they apply the flat amounts first and then apply the percentages? That is not extremely clear. But there we go. So now, oh, why can't I move? That's weird. Huh, there's some weird collision here. Well, this game is in early access, so you do kind of have to expect it to have some strange stuff. So here's a roaming warband. The reason I'm fighting this fight is not because it blocks me from the final enemy. It's actually just because I want to level up, and that's what you do in a roguelike, is you try to get into as much, safe, like basically without putting yourself at too much risk. You want to go through as much combat as you can so you can level up and be ready for the final boss. Alright, so it looks like I've got 3 enemies here. The big guy is preparing for 3 turns for a special attack, so maybe I want to kill him before then. I've got a Skullcracker, which does a significant amount of damage. I could take him out pretty well. He's immune to stun. This is actually a common thing for the biggest guy, to be immune to stun, so you can't just stun lock him and have that be your entire strategy. I missed that the first couple times, so I kept trying to stun the big guy. So this one is going to hit me for this much damage. This character is going to hit me for this much damage. So the question is... Okay, so I can retaliate against those fights. Okay, so the thing is, if I want to do this much damage to the enemy, that'll take all of my energy, and I'm not going to be able to defend myself against the other 2. But it seems really worthwhile. He's going to do something horrific in 3 turns, and I don't want to be there for it. So I'm going to turn on double edge so that when I do get hit, I'll return the hit. So at least make it, eye for an eye. And then... Oh, interesting. Oh, what is... Okay, so let's find out what barrier is. Let's use this. Okay, so I've got... Okay, so now maybe this is going to block nearly all the damage from these guys, if not all the damage from these guys. Let's just say that's what's going to happen, and I'm going to skull crack this guy. Oh, right, the damage carries over to the other guys. That's cool. So I could do up to 24 damage with my ultimate. I think I don't need to yet, though, because I think my shield here is going to protect against these 2. So barrier looks like it's actually really similar to what defenses are in other games like this, like Slay the Spire. So I got blocked it, cool. And so now this character is going to do something mysterious. Well, we have to definitely murder them then. This character is going to hit me 3 times. Okay, so let's use my advanced attack, kill that guy, then this card comes back, hit the other guy with it. He's still prepping his big attack, so because my block carries over, it's good for me to just grab some block and just let it carry over. And end the turn. Okay, so now my special does up to 68 damage. Still not enough. 1 more turn until his special attack. Ooh. So you notice my damage numbers. It's at 17 to 20 on that card. It drops down to 13 to 16. I think the reason for that is, now that I've only got 1 enemy left, it knows which enemy it's going to hit, which means it's updating its damage to reflect the damage resistance that the enemy has. So it wouldn't have dropped down that way back when there were 3 enemies up there, because it doesn't know who I'm attacking. But since it does know who I'm attacking, it will do it. I think that once I targeted at the enemy, it would actually show me that information. But anyway, so it's 13 to 16, but it does it 3 times. So I think that is still going to be one of my better ones. Oh, wait. Oh, reduces the target's armor by 25. That seems valuable. So now it went down from, 20%, knocking 20% off the damage. Now it's getting negative 5%, which means I think, yeah, so notice my 17 to 20 becomes 18 to 21. So it's adding 5% to my damage because he's got this negative 5% armor. So now I hit him with that, and he's dead, and I level up, and I didn't take any damage. I had to expend an item to stop myself from taking damage, but still, no damage is good. So Acid Bomb, can use that in the future. And then, okay, I'm getting some cards now from this. So Random Attack. 1 hit for 150% damage to a random enemy. Stun a random enemy. Okay, well that seems pretty cool. Whirlwind. Deal 1 hit for 75% damage to all enemies. So I think that basically I've got a baseline damage value based on my character and their runestones and stuff like that. And so these cards are just telling me like what percentage of my standard damage amount they're going to do. So I can figure out the sort of the relative differences between them, but it's like it's not promising me a specific amount of damage, because that amount of damage as I slot different runes and as I level up is going to change. So, okay, so I kind of like this random attack thing. It's kind of, it's gambly, but it's cool. Steve-O, you say weird things. Okay, so I think that was everything over here. So aside from the fact that I can't see very well, I'm not actually sure what negative effect being out here in the WYRD without a torch or without a candle is. Legendary encounter. Okay, so this is the boss. Let's go see how this goes. Okay, so it's just the one enemy. They're going to hit me twice for a reasonable amount of damage. I don't have any defenses queued up. I can retaliate, so I'll do that. It's a lot of health. But as I build up my ultimate and stuff like that, I am going to be able to counter it. So, okay, so these attacks... I could do all of these attacks, start whittling it down, and actually I can, mark the target and have it become vulnerable, which is good. Or I could just get +3 energy for the next turn with meditation here. This is tempting, just because I can't defend myself anyway. Because so I've drawn these like cards that are worth 1. There's some bigger cards that are worth more that might show up in my next hand, and so it might be worthwhile for me to make it so that I can do bigger attacks next turn. So I think I'm going to take a risk and do this, and then still hit them with small strikes. Start building up their mark. Oh, hey, they're vulnerable. Cool. But that should have taken 6 hits. I did that attack twice. I feel like I must have some special ability that's doubling. That's right. I think I have a special ability on my character where, like periodically, like I think every 10th attack or something is getting doubled. So I think that happened just here. I just ended up doubling that attack without realizing I was going to. All right, end turn. Okay, so I retaliated, but not with very much. Okay, so now it's gonna hit me once for 18 to 26. So I'm gonna hit breathe, which defends once, and then gives me some extra energy. But I'm kind of advanced attack. Cool. So this is when it does a bunch of damage, and then I get to reuse it as many times as I need to. That's perfect for having a ton of energy. I'm so glad I drew that card. Okay, so now this isn't quite up there yet, but it's getting close. So it blocked. So now it's going to hit me 3 times for a relatively small amount of damage. So blocking one of those would be good, but I can do it. Okay, so yeah, between this and this, I think I can take it out right now. So hit it with that, and then with my ultimate, take it out. So that was the 3rd boss. I'm assuming that either a single run in this game involves doing more than just killing the 4 bosses that I've been told about. That maybe killing the 4 bosses is just step 1 and there's other steps that I need to take to complete a run. Or this first run is meant to be an easy run, and then I'm going to do something that makes the next run significantly harder. Because this is my first run through the game. I feel like I should not be defeating the 3rd boss. Unless something is different about this game than, say, Slay the Spire, where I don't even know if I got to the first boss the first time I did a run. And you were definitely seeing, like, if you watched my my session of what's it called? Going Under. I'm not making very much progress at all in that game because I'm not good at it yet, and it takes a while to get good at a roguelike so you can actually make it deep enough into the game. Okay, anyway, so Flame of Merlin. Brave word is without any repercussions. I don't know what the repercussions are. He hasn't really explained what the repercussions of exploring the WYRD is. But whatever. And then Cracked Stan. Okay. Polished Ear? A mythical quality runestone. Oh, so I get more wealth from hitting people. Interesting. Okay, cool. And then I get to pick a new... Oh, so this is a new one I haven't seen before. 4 hits to a random enemy. Okay, that seems cool. Or reduce armor by 30. Draw a card. It costs 1 energy. Well, half my cards are 1 energy, so that's not a big deal. So let's grab that one. Or I can... I like the fact that if I don't want any of the powers they offer, I can just skip it for some money that I can spend elsewhere. Okay, so a new passive skill. Increase my armor by 10. So it's going to be 10% damage resistance all the time. At the start of each combat, gain +2 energy. Ooh, so up front I get extra energy. And then ultimate charge is carrying over between fights. I tend to use my ultimate as my last move, so I probably wouldn't use this that much. I'm going to grab this one.
As the monster disappears, you expect the goat-legged creature to appear. You're not surprised when you finally hear that familiar voice.
Splendid! But don't rest on your laurels just yet. What you see right now is only the first dimension, the first level of this corrupted reality.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. They're going to tell me that what I'm doing right now is easy mode, and there's going to be a hard mode that's coming.
This thing you've just slain, I'd like to see the look on your face when you see its true form.
You can't see the creature's face, but you can imagine its smirk.
Now, listen, this last beast on your path will be, well, a bit different than the others. It's an Avalonian, and you won't be able to best this foe, at least not now. Maybe someday when you're stronger, wiser. But now, yeah, not happening. Your goal here is simple. Survive. Anyway.
New armor slot, sure. Alright. So, let me reduce the volume again. So I've got this new thing that 25% of all damage received from every hit is added to your equipment as wealth. So now that I've got a new armor slot, I could slot that in, or combine these runestones into, extra max XP. I mean, HP. I kind of like that. So yeah, so I've got extra max HP, and it's time to head back home. So this game kind of reminds me a little bit of Space Renegades, in that, I mean, really what I've got here is sort of your standard, like, Slay the Spire style node path, right? Where you're, like, choosing what direction you're going to go. Oh, the reason it cleared out is because there's a milestone right here. You're choosing which way you're going to go, which encounters you're going to have, that kind of thing. And, yay, free stuff. And, you know, there's not a lot special. Like, it's not like I'm, fighting characters in real time, or, doing platforming challenges, or any of the stuff you might do in a sort of in a world like this. It really is just you're navigating the node graph, but it's sort of trying to, sort of immerse you a little bit better by having you actually sort of live in a world. And Space Renegades does a really similar thing. You're basically following a node graph, but you're running your characters around just because that kind of feels good to be running around and exploring a world. Okay, so I get to choose which milestone I want to go to. I don't know. I think this is the one that's in the central location. So we'll go here. Okay, so yeah, each of the sort of areas of the world that you go to has got a milestone where you can use it for fast travel. Let's go chat with this lost soul. So this guy, buy upgrades with WYRD stone. I haven't done that yet. Increase the amount of times you can rest, or rest twice per run. That's all I can afford right now. Ooh, resting will restore full health. Okay, well, so I've already rested here one time, and so if I want to be able to rest here ever again, I need to use this. So let's use that. Yes, this should do the trick, and we both benefit. Thank you. You see him crushing some of the WYRD stones you brought him and placing in some regular intervals. Forming a circle around the camp. When he's done, the air becomes a little bit lighter. All upgrades are permanent. Okay, good. Good to know. Okay, let's back. Okay, so I can exchange gold for WYRD stone. I would need hundreds of WYRD stone to do much more, and so Yeah. So I can now heal myself again. And since I'm heading towards the final fight, I probably should. Lay your head here and don't worry. But remember, this will work only 2 times. So I'll get more health than I need. And then I can buy healing mixtures. But the price of healing mixtures gets higher every time you buy them. So I'm actually not going to do it because 320 is exorbitant. I've already bought a bunch in this run. So Smug Rainbow Pony says, Demo Reborn does this too. Turned a screen-by-screen exploration into 3D navigation. But it's really a rhythm game, and the exploration is just there to unlock new songs and tell a story. Yeah, so when you're sort of... Some games have the philosophy that, the simplest solution is the best. And so they, if the only decision you're making is just where to go on a path of nodes, then let's just give them a path of nodes. Let's make the decision really straightforward. Other games feel like the best thing they can do is to try to immerse you, is to put more sort of like in-person exploration and sort of like representative art into the game than they actually need, because there's something else that adds experience. Like mechanically it's no more complex than the games that have just a simple node graph, but there's mechanics are not the only thing in a game. The experience of a game oftentimes has a lot more to do with the atmosphere, the immersion, the production, design and stuff like that. In which case, giving you a simple node graph might not serve the needs of the game. And so, this game is clearly, somebody came up with this crazy shader that turns all of my stuff into weird Van Gogh brushstrokes, and they wanted that to be part of the experience, and so that wouldn't have worked on just a standard node graph. So I think this is probably a combat that is designed to kill me, to end my run for the first time, so that I have the experience of playing through most of a run and dying, because that's what most of a game like this is going to be about. But I appreciate the fact that they explicitly told me that before I did it, so they don't frustrate me and then make me unhappy and then try to recover from it. They tell me in advance, expect to die. So I'm going into this expecting to die. So yeah, notice he doesn't even have a number on his health bar. I think that means it's because it's infinite. He can't be healed. Okay. And Wrath of the Unknown. The fight will automatically end after 10 turns. Survive. So all I'm trying to do is survive. And he gets stronger with each turn passed. Okay, so he can hit me twice for a lot of damage. I can block one of them. And... stun, so I can hit Stunning Shout, and he's stunned, so he won't hit me at all. That's good. And then I don't know if any of this is going to be worth it. I'm doing damage to him theoretically, but I'm not. I am building up these combo marks though, and so if there is going to be a point in the future where he actually does have health I can take away, continuing to hit him will mean that I'll be able to do more damage in the future. So I'm going to keep hitting him. Oh, it's just counting the damage that I dealt. Interesting. Okay, well, let's end the turn. So he didn't attack me because he was stunned. I think that's worn off now, though. So now he's still going to hit me twice. I don't have any of my defenses on me, which is sad. Okay, I've got 4 energy. So, Skullcracker I could hit and do a bunch of damage there. Fist of Stone does more than half the damage of Skullcracker, which is good to know, and reduces armor. And so I've got 4 energy, so if I hit him with Chain Attack first, and then we'll duplicate the next card that I play, which I think means, yeah, it gets played twice, I could do significant damage to him and damage his armor. Oh, and he's vulnerable, so he takes double damage incoming now too. So let's hit him with this. Okay, yeah, that was a bunch. So if he was a normal enemy, he would be already getting pretty low on hit points. Unfortunately, he is going to hit me, but I retaliate. That's nice anyway. Okay, so I can increase my damage by 50% this turn. Again, I've got no defenses. This is very sad. He's going to hit me 2 times. Yeah, I don't have a stunning... Oh, wait, no. I do have a stunning move. Okay, so I've got 3 energy. I could hit all in to do extra damage. And then do this thing that will stun somebody. So let's do that. All in, and random attack. Well, random is just an attack if you've only got 1 enemy. So I think he's stunned. He won't hit me now. And now I've got at least 1 defense, so that's good. And I can retaliate. And then let's hit him with advanced attack. Alright, let's see how this goes. He's going to hit me at least once. Okay, now I got... Okay, this is where all my defensive cards were. They were waiting for this turn. It weirds me out that, by the way, that the font on the title changes. Like the card gets bigger, but the text stays the same size. So, like, the line break is different. That's so weird. Oh yeah, so Per Vogdsen, I'm saying your name wrong, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce those consonants together, says that he thought this was Tainted Grail because I forgot to update my Twitch information. Thank you for reminding me, Per. So I'm going to update. I always do this, like at some point during because I always play multiple games over the course of a long stream. I always at some point forget to update something, so... So now I've updated it, so now it actually shows that I'm playing Tainted Grail on all of the things. Yeah, so Para's like, oh, this is Tainted Grail? Yes, this is Tainted Grail. I was playing Going Under before, so sorry this is labeled Going Under. Yeah, okay, so anyway, he's going to hit me twice, so I should defend myself twice. And actually... Oh yeah, I can't even use any of my attacks because they cost 2. I'm going to defend myself 3 times, and because I've got that special ability that carries over, that's fine. My ultimate is almost fully charged up. But 1 more attack will fully charge it, so I think I'm going to still wait on it. Because it doesn't cost energy, it doesn't matter when I do it. Whoa. Okay, so he's going to do damage to multiple targets. Does that mean I can eventually have a party? I'm not sure what multiple targets mean when it comes to the enemy. So, okay, I can do my ultimate now. I'll want to increase... Yeah, let's definitely increase my damage. Let's do my ultimate. Brought up to nearly 3,000 damage, which is great. And then let's use my remaining 2 to put up more defenses. And so, again, it's really fascinating that they've decided that unlike, other card building, deck building games like Slay the Spire or Nowhere Prophet, where a lot of the blocking that you do... Actually, I don't know if Nowhere Prophet even has defenses. It probably doesn't. I'm thinking of Slay the Spire. Anyway, Slay the Spire, your blocking defense is blocking amounts of damage, and so so if somebody has a really big hit coming, it's going to blow through your block. This game, you block it attack by attack, so it doesn't matter how big the attack is. If you've got at least 1 block, you stop the attack. That's just it just changes the dynamics so much. Like enemies that hit multiple, like this right here, he's going to hit me multiple times now. That's a much bigger deal because I can only block it a certain number of times. Whereas, so smaller frequent attacks are much more powerful from the enemy than big single attacks. Oh, so Smoke Rainbow Pony asks, is there a turn counter somewhere? Yes, right here. His trait, Wrath of the Unknown, says the fight will automatically end after 10 turns, and we're down to 4 left, I think. So he's gonna hit me twice. I've got 2 block. Hopefully that'll be enough. What? Oh, but I can stun him because he's got negative armor. So I should probably use Stunning Shout. I've got 4 moves. So random attack. Oh, will also stun him. So I can do random attack, but if I do random attack to stun him, it'll do that much damage, but then I can't also do Skullcracker. And Skullcracker's going to do a crazy amount of damage to him. Again, because he's got this negative 75, and because... Oh, that's the only reason, because he's got the negative 75. No, that can't be the only reason. Oh, this increases dealt and received damage by 25%. So he's doing... So I'm doing more damage to him because of a trait he's got. I don't have the vulnerability thing on him anymore. That's gone away. So I don't know why Skullcracker's jumping all the way from like 200 to 800. That feels crazy. That doesn't seem like... I don't see an explanation out of the board of that. But whatever, I'll take it. So, okay, so I'm going to do Stunning Shout and Skullcracker. So he's stunned. He won't attack me this turn. Skullcracker. There we go. So it feels like this ability that I have that is saving, that's allowing me to carry over my defenses from one turn to the next, feels super powerful. Like it is designed for this particular fight. I would probably be dead already if I wasn't able to save up my defenses. So I gotta remember that. That's definitely one that I want to grab in the future when I see it. I wonder if this damage dealt thing, if it's kind of like, you know, attacking the heart at the end of Slay the Spire, where it's just like, it's accumulating the damage. It's like saying, hey, this is how much damage you did. Feel good about yourself because you did so much damage, but you can never actually defeat this enemy. I don't know. Okay, so again, I can stun him. So yeah, that's what I want to do. Stun him, again, delaying his attacks. And then, what's the biggest single attack I can do? Well, this one I can't afford to do. 188 or 125? 188. So hit him, and then end my turn. Alright, so, okay, I've got no defenses left. I guess, okay, so my defenses, they'll carry over, but they won't last forever. Good to know. So I can defend against one of his hits. I can also stun him. Well, let's stun him. Let's defend against one hit. Let's put on Double Edge, because why not? And now, I can accumulate another defense. And then, I've got 2 left. I'll reduce his armor, so... Wow. I guess, okay, that was my attack that got duplicated at a random interval. Is it this one? Oh, duplicate every 10th attack, so it's 0 right now. So as this counts up to 10... Oh, you can't even see it. There's a thing I'm highlighting behind my head right now, where if this 0 counts up to 10, then the next attack will be doubled. So I just keep not paying attention to it and not knowing which ones are going to get doubled. That was a good one to double because it permanently reduced his armor. Oh, was that the 4th turn? Maybe that was the 4th turn. And the combat's over. What now? As the creature disappears, you hear a familiar voice.
Oh, that was brilliant. Really a sight for sore eyes. Finally, something's going according to plan. It's good to see that someone actually stood a chance against him. We might have a shot at surviving this whole crazy ordeal after all. This foe is a powerful Avalonian warlock, you see, but he's not here in the truest sense. I mean, he's somewhere and he's trying to break through to this reality. And if he succeeds, well, that won't be good for anyone involved. Here's where you factor in. Your resistance will force him to fight. He'll have to divide his attention between entering our reality and, well, fighting you. You'll be little more than a fly buzzing in his ear. But turns out an annoying fly might be worth more than a legion of legendary heroes, huh? Now, we must go. After you.
Okay, so it still says slay the 4th beast of weirdness. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, hello. Alright. As you approach the hooded figure, you hear its voice echoing in your mind.
The most interesting aspect of humans, I think, is your complete and total inability to give up, ever.
Pervumson says, by the way, did you play Baten Kaitos? It's a JRPG for the GameCube with a deck-based combat system. No, I didn't. So, in that era, I had never even heard of the idea of doing a deck-based combat system. In fact, I think the first deck-based combat system I ever played was Metal Gear Acid on the PSP. And because I'd never seen it before, it was just kind of mind-blowing. I was like, how are they... cards to decide what I do in a stealth tactical game? What? And it blew my mind. It was so weird. But yeah, apparently in the era before the PSP, there were already people who were experimenting with that idea, and I just didn't know about it. Yeah, Per agrees that the Metal Gear Acid was neat. Meanwhile, Smoke Rainbow Pony's saying that, Death just said to me, the most interesting aspects of humans, I think, is your complete and total inability to give up, ever. And Smug Rainbow Pony's like, they say that, but I give up a lot of stuff all the time. Same here.
You're unable to grow complacent. As individuals, maybe, but not as a species.
Smug Rainbow Pony, for instance.
You're quite unlike the Avalonians in this regard.
Oh, really? The Avalonians give up?
Avalonians have long held the ability to bend weirdness to their will, and they use it to satisfy all needs and whims.
Oh, okay, so it makes them impatient because they expect to be able to get whatever they want.
After ages, as predicted, the Avalonians fell into the trap of sloth and hedonism. They ceased reaching higher, content with what they had.
I like that, actually. Like, there's some clever writing and world building that goes into this, even though, like, combining Arthurian legends with, like, Cthulhu-esque abominations and, demonic stuff feels weird up front, but clearly there's some really kind of clever people behind this who ideas like this where they're thinking through, well, what would it like to be these all-powerful beings? What does that say about their personality and their culture? Not just saying, it's an all-powerful being and they're scary, blah, blah, blah. They're actually, like, thinking it through, and there's, like, real justifications behind the way that these characters are. And that's a mark of, like, good, really solid world building. Good thought behind this stuff. Death raises its skeletal hand, pointing towards the darkness looming above.
Then, for a brief moment, an ambitious ruler arose. His 3 eyes turned beyond the stars. But he was dethroned. He demanded too much of his people.
Death falls silent for a while.
You fought against him just a moment ago, and you will fight him again. You will keep fighting him until you're ready to understand and make the choice to shape the future of this reality. Now, this is the time when I should offer you help.
Death stands up and snaps its bony fingers.
So one reason I think you can tell that this game is in early access is the fact that some of the narrator lines are spoken and some of them are not. What I'm betting is that, as they've been writing and rewriting the text, they've recorded some of the narration lines that they've written, and they haven't recorded others, either because the line changed since the last time they did a recording session, or just because they haven't completed all the recording sessions with the narrator actress. So I'm expecting that when this game is properly released, whenever that happens, I'm betting all of the narrator lines will be spoken, and I'm not going to have to read them out loud.
We found some suitable souls to aid you on your journey. You've met one of them already, the healer from the ruins of your farmhold, or the ruins of an echo of your farmhold, to be more precise.
Yeah, so that character that I talked to back at my base that offered me chances to rest and sold me healing items and stuff like that, there's several other places at that central location and the map that look like, they'll be upgradable in the future. That, like, I think as I play through the game, I'll meet additional characters and they'll flesh out that base and give me more options for, between fights or between parts of my run. I can sort of refresh myself or get upgrades or whatever it is they offer. Kind of like the mentors in Going Under. Actually, it's really interesting seeing, different games that are sort of broadly in the same genre but that are extremely different from each other, how they'll find kind of similar solutions to the same problems, but it'll feel like it's expressed in a completely different way. So, let's see here. So, Smug Rainbow Pony says, this sounds like Dark Souls if it had less action and more dialogue. And the tank is like, Talk Souls? And, yeah. Anyway, so Awesome Twitch Dude asks, what's the hardest part about making games? That's just a long conversation. I don't think I can just answer that succinctly during a stream. Sorry, Awesome Twitch Dude.
We have 3 mirrors here. They allow you to peer into another reality. And only when you do that, this reality looks back.
Smoke Rainbow Pony asks, have you ever heard of or tried In Other Waters? That sounds really familiar. I can't promise you that I have, but that sounds... Tell me more about that. I'd like to see if I can remember it.
We can send one of the souls you'll find on the other side to aid you right now. The rest you must find on your own. Pluck them from the weirdness and corruption.
Huh. A song breaks through the slithering of the weirdness.
I have no hope, no home, no gold. Mine is but misty morning cold.
You realize it's a man in blacksmith's apron, sitting next to a large anvil.
Oi, traveller. Want to buy a good anvil? 'Tis all I have, I'm afraid. My own, you see, went poof. 1 minute there, next minute gone. And I found myself here, with this lump of iron for company. I swear to gods it started talking to me not long ago.
The vision disappears as quickly as it appeared.
Okay, so I gotta look at all of them.
You see an old man chained to a wall. He must be kept in some kind of prison. What was his crime, though? You hear him muttering to himself. You're sure he doesn't see you, but it seems he's able to somehow feel your presence.
Huh, the line they recorded was longer. Oh, Smoke Rainbow Pony, yes! I have played In Other Waters. In fact, I streamed it a little while ago. The title came disconnected in my head, but yeah, I absolutely played it. The game where you play an AI that's inside somebody's dive suit. Yeah, it was a super weird, crazy game, but yeah, it was fascinating. It was definitely another game that was very much about the dialogue and the storytelling, and mechanics were more of an excuse to get to the dialogue and the storytelling. I promise I can be of use. I trained people in martial arts for years. You're sure he doesn't see you, but it seems he's able to somehow feel your presence. Do you know of any place where I might go? Find shelter?
The vision disappears as quickly as it appeared.
You see a candlemaker leaning heavily on his cast iron mold, barely able to stay awake.
So fast! They burn out so fast! Perhaps if I... No. I may need both later.
You're certain he doesn't see you. Nonetheless, you hear him saying something that could have been directed at you.
The candles aren't out, are they? You're not one of the weird spawns? Doesn't matter. I can't sell you any. I barely make enough to keep myself alive.
Am I one of the weird spawns? Hard to know.
The vision disappears as quickly as it appeared.
I feel like that should be my nickname for my kids, the weird spawns.
One of these souls can join you now. The rest you'll need to find.
Like the death's got a chessboard. It's like, what was the name of that old Scandinavian movie? The Seventh Seal, I think, involved a chess game with death.
The blacksmith stole his knowledge from the giants. He'll be of help when it comes to handling runestones. The master at arms. He was once a fearsome fighter. He'll be of help when it comes to your skills and abilities. The candle maker. Their minds are always twisted by weirdness to some extent. But you've already experienced the power of candles they make.
I'm actually not sure I've experienced it. I've had trouble figuring out what their candles are really for.
It's your choice.
So because the thing that mattered the most in that last run was one skill I got that let my defenses carry over from turn to turn, I think I'm going to go for the Master at Arms.
Good. Then you shall meet them when you're reborn on the higher level of corruption.
Okay, so that's what I thought. So basically, it seems like this world is like made of like layers, and as you get closer and closer to the reality that Avalonian monster is from, the enemies are going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. So I'm starting out kind of distant from them, and so everything's just sort of like kind of a weak little sort of shade of its actual self, a little shadow. As they get closer, they're going to get tougher and tougher and tougher, which makes sense. It's a nice, fun excuse for a game, leveling up the damage over time. So Awesome Twitch Dude asked if I'm planning on playing the Tony Hawk remakes, and Smoke Rainbow Pony says, "Who needs Tony Hawk when Skatebird exists?" So I have played Skatebird. I think it's on my channel someplace. You can look it up. But yeah, so I have played a little bit. I think I played one Tony Hawk game. I think it was Thug or something that I played, or maybe it was Thaw. Anyway, I played one of them and it was like, oh, this is interesting. I'm not super into skateboarding though, so there's limits to how much I get really invested in it. Okay, so all of the wordstone that I found but didn't use gets tallied up to level up something else. Congratulations on completing this run. Click on the treasure box to receive your rewards. These rewards will stay with you over the course of your runs. New cards will be added to the pool of cards you can get while playing the game. Cosmetic items will land in the gear customization menu, and so on. So what did I get? Boink. A Spirit Strike card. Gain barrier from hitting. That's nice. Reduce damage dealt by all enemies by 30% this turn. Deal 2 hits for reduced damage. Each hit decreases the cost of a random card by 1 energy. That was warm-up. On every 15th card played, draw an additional card with energy 0, and then burn brightly. At the start of every turn, increase the damage you dealt by 5% until the end of combat. Oh, you just get more and more damage. That sounds pretty powerful. Oh, there's even more? Add Cleave to your ultimate ability. I think Cleave means it hits multiple enemies. Whenever you play 5 cards in a single turn, gain +1 energy and draw 1 card, so you just keep it going. And then this outfit. And that outfit. Alright. Discovered 16 out of 48 enemies. 2 out of 19 bosses. NPCs. Bunch of stats. So I'm going to quit to the menu right now because we've been playing this for a while, and I've been streaming for 4 hours and 20 minutes. And 4 hours and 20 minutes, that's a great time to stop things and go take a break. So, yeah, but that is Tainted Grail. So let's just go to the end screen here and wrap this up. So, yeah, I mean, the game is really promising. It's still in early access. They've got a lot of work still ahead of them. But this kind of game, there's a lot of games where I avoid playing them in early access because I want to play the final version. But roguelikes, because they're so replayable, are kind of the ideal game to get with this early access. You can sort of watch them develop and see them grow over time. And Hades is a great example. The game was has been phenomenal from day one, but I've only got to watch it get better, and there's nothing frustrating about because roguelikes are designed to be played again and again from the beginning. There's nothing frustrating about coming back to the game again and playing more of it after the game's developed a little further. I played Dead Cells the same way. So anyway, this is pretty neat. If you like what you saw, then go check it out. I think at least as of this stream, I think it's actually on sale on Steam right now. So I got it for cheap. So anyway, we'll wrap up the video. Subscribe button, all that nonsense. And yeah, because it's 420 is a good time to take a break.